So what happens if you inherit a house and you go to that house to collect your inheritance, and you walk in and you find out that not only you inherited a house, but you inherited this whole woman as well.
Nakajima さんは今何をシャイと言いますか？あなた遅いです。
Because under the contract or her living conditions, she's allowed to live in that place until she dies. That's what this movie's about. My Old Lady. Fairly decent film, well acted. I thought it was supposed to be a comedy, but it's more of a comedy drama. The main character here, the male, who comes to pick up his inheritance from his dead father, his estranged dead father, discovers that there's more problems here than he had anticipated. So the story's about this down and out guy. He's antisocial. He just got into a divorce, lost everything to his wife. He can't help himself. He drinks all the time. He loses money like crazy. He shows up in Paris, France, poor as hell, not a dime to his name. But he's going to collect this inheritance that he gained from his dead father. So he figures he'll just take this house, sell it, and collect the money off that and live off that. He shows up at the house and he finds there's an old woman inside. He has no idea that there's a French law that says that you can sign a contract where you sell a house to someone, but that person has to pay you to live there, to look after it until the day you die. And this is a legally binding agreement, and this is the type of agreement this guy runs into. So it's just the old lady who's looking after the place. She expects him to pay her a wage to continue to stay there, and he owes money. He has to pay rent on the house to her that he inherited, and her daughter's living there too. Although the old lady is actually working, I think she's in her late 80s in this film. And her daughter's probably about 50, I guess, by the looks of her. And she works as well, and then there's this custodian woman, I think she's a maid, who helps look after the place. It's a multi-story house. It's a good-sized house in Paris. But this man wants to sell. He doesn't want to pay rent on an inherited place. So he wants to do a sale, and because of the age of the old woman, that she could die at any time, that he decides to sell the place with the full knowledge to the next buyer that this old lady could die at any time because of her age. But the old lady and him, the man in the story and her daughter, they begin to understand each other better, and he discovers that this old lady was actually his father's French mistress. His father used to leave New York to take business trips to Paris, but he was actually visiting this old lady, and she loved him, and I guess the father loved her as well, and he was running around on the entire family behind their backs. And so the man who inherited this house now has to deal with that issue, plus his alcoholism and the fact that he was so self-destructive. And this is a remarkably good storyline. If you're into really good storylines and taking a peek behind the scenes at other people's lives, this is fairly realistic, and the actors in this are excellent. They do an excellent job, and the screenshots are perfect, and the background scenery is beautiful. You just will take a shining to this movie. You'll like it very much, I think, if you're into storylines. This is not a comedy all the way through. There is some humorous parts, but not a comedy. It's more of a more drama than comedy, but I think you should like it.
I'm not